Ethan Cole once believed loyalty was unbreakable. He had been married to Melissa for 6 years, a union he thought was built on honesty and love. They had met in their mid-20s, bonded over shared ambitions, and quickly became inseparable. "You make me feel safe," she used to whisper. Those words stayed with him, until the day he realized safety was an illusion. Love, he discovered, can hide betrayal so well that even the most cautious heart doesn't see it coming. Their relationship had always seemed stable. They talked about buying a house someday, maybe starting a family. Ethan worked for a healthcare software company, while Melissa thrived in marketing. Together, they managed their finances carefully, saving for a down payment. He handled the budgets. She trusted him to. "You're better at numbers," she'd laugh. To anyone outside, they were the perfect couple, young, practical, and steady. But what looked like harmony was quietly being eaten away by secrets. Ethan never suspected anything. Melissa was warm, attentive, and present. She often talked about her coworkers, people she described as fun, talented guys who make long meetings bearable. Ethan never minded. "You should enjoy work," he'd say casually. He wasn't the jealous type. She had never given him a reason to be. They shared passwords, made weekend plans, and spoke openly. He thought that was what trust looked like. But trust, he would learn, is the easiest thing to weaponize. One Tuesday afternoon changed everything. Ethan had stayed home from work because of a migraine. Resting on the couch, he needed to check something online. His phone and laptop were in the bedroom, but Melissa's iPad was nearby. "I'll just use this for a second," he murmured to himself. The screen woke to a Netflix page, but a text notification appeared from a man named Brian, someone she'd mentioned from work. The preview made his stomach twist. "That dress hugged you perfectly. Can't wait to take it off tonight." Ethan froze. His pulse pounded in his ears as he unlocked the iPad. Because Melissa's iCloud was synced, every message appeared there. He opened the thread. What he saw broke him. Hundreds of messages filled the screen. Flirty, intimate, shameless. "You make me feel alive," Melissa had written. "Can't wait to see you again." There were photos, some taken at work, some too private to describe. Brian called her baby. They planned hotel meetings. It wasn't a one-time mistake. It was an entire double life. Ethan scrolled through months of deceit. His hands trembled. Every affectionate text she'd sent him, every smile, every kiss, all of it now looked fake. She's been lying for months. He closed the iPad, placed it exactly where it had been, and paced the room. The walls felt smaller, the air colder. That evening, Melissa would return home, kiss him on the cheek, ask about his day, and he would know the truth while pretending nothing had changed. When she came home, she smiled warmly. "Hey, babe, how's your head?" "Better," Ethan said softly, forcing a calm expression. They made dinner, watched TV, and went to bed. She fell asleep quickly, breathing evenly beside him. Ethan lay awake, staring at the ceiling, his heart numb. Every "I love you" she had ever said now sounded like mockery. He wondered how many nights she had come home from Brian's arms straight into his. The thought made him sick. Over the next week, Ethan became an actor. He smiled, talked, and touched her hand when necessary, but his heart had detached. He studied her now, noticing small signs that once seemed innocent: late replies, extra makeup, constant texting. He saw her clearly for the first time, and she was a stranger. "You okay?" she asked one evening. "You've been quiet lately." "Just work stress," he replied flatly. She nodded, unaware she was living beside a man planning his disappearance. At night, while Melissa slept, Ethan sat in the glow of his laptop researching divorce laws. Washington state was a community property state. Everything would be split 50-50. The thought of giving half of his savings to a woman who had betrayed him made his stomach churn. "She doesn't deserve it," he whispered. He began studying financial loopholes, cryptocurrency, small cash withdrawals, discreet gold purchases. Slowly, methodically, he designed his exit plan. Each night he transferred small amounts from their joint account into a separate bank account. Then he converted portions into cryptocurrency and bought gold coins from local dealers using cash. Melissa never questioned it. "I trust you with money," she'd say without hesitation. Ironically, that same trust became her downfall. Ethan justified it to himself easily. She took from me emotionally, I'm only taking back what's mine. His revenge wasn't loud, it was precise. 3 months later, he had moved most of their savings into assets she couldn't trace. Melissa, meanwhile, started noticing his emotional distance. One evening she turned to him on the couch. Ethan, talk to me. What's happening? We haven't been close in weeks. He looked at her calmly. I'm preparing for my freedom. Her eyes widened. What does that mean? He stood, kissed her forehead, and said quietly, You'll understand soon. Then he walked away, leaving her confused and uneasy. Within days, Ethan finalized everything. He booked a one-way flight to Bangkok. He packed 2 suitcases, clothes, documents, and the key to his safe deposit box. The morning he left, Melissa was still asleep. He whispered, goodbye, but she never heard. At the airport, he felt strangely calm. This wasn't escape, it was rebirth. On the flight, he drafted a final message to send once he landed. His words would cut through the illusion she had built so carefully. After 20 hours of travel, he arrived in Bangkok near midnight. The city buzzed with humid energy and neon light. In his small hotel room, he finally sent the message, I know everything. The affair, the lies, the hotels. I've known for months. The marriage is over. You're free to be with him now. I'm gone. Don't look for me. Then he turned off his phone and stared at the ceiling, feeling nothing but release. 6 hours later, he turned the phone back on. Dozens of messages flooded in. Panic, tears, anger. Ethan, what are you talking about? Please come home. You're being cruel. We can fix this. Then accusations followed. You took the money. You ruined my life. Ethan read each one silently, emotionless. No, Melissa, he murmured. You ruined it yourself. He powered off the phone again, exhaling deeply. For the first time in months, his mind was still. In the weeks that followed, Ethan settled into life in Bangkok. He found an apartment, paid 6 months in advance using cryptocurrency, and began working remotely for a consulting firm. Days were filled with new routines, gym visits, street food, and quiet evenings overlooking the city lights. For the first time, he felt anonymous, untethered. There were no arguments, no lies, no pretending. Just peace, silence, and his own choices. A few months later, he hired a divorce attorney back in Seattle. Over a video call, she asked, Do you want to claim infidelity? No, he replied calmly. Just end it. He explained the situation but omitted his hidden assets. We had a joint account and some furniture. She can have those. The lawyer nodded. It'll take a few months, but we can finalize it without you returning. Perfect, Ethan said. I've already moved on. When Melissa received the divorce papers, her tone changed. She called him evil, heartless, vindictive. You destroyed my life, one message read. Ethan only smiled faintly. No, he whispered to himself, I just finished what you started. The process took 6 months. By the time it was over, Ethan's new life was stable. He had friends, steady clients, and a growing sense of peace that money couldn't buy. After the divorce, Melissa tried reaching out again. I understand now, she wrote. I hope you're happy. Ethan never replied. He deleted the message and went for a walk through the bustling Bangkok streets. Lanterns hung overhead, motorcycles buzzed past, and the air smelled of fried rice and rain. For the first time, he smiled genuinely. Freedom, he realized, didn't always come gently. It sometimes arrives through fire. Over a year later, Ethan reflected on everything. He didn't regret what he'd done. Some might call it theft, he said one night to a fellow expat friend over coffee. But I call it survival. His friend nodded. You just made sure she couldn't hurt you twice. Ethan laughed quietly. Exactly. He'd learned that protecting oneself after betrayal wasn't cruelty, it was wisdom earned through pain. Now, every morning, Ethan wakes to warm sunlight spilling through his Bangkok apartment. He sips coffee by the window, grateful for the stillness. He has no wife, no shared bank account, no illusions, just peace and purpose. Sometimes, he wonders if Melissa ever learned her lesson. Then he shakes the thought away. She gambled everything, he whispers. And I walked away with freedom. The lesson is simple: betrayal always teaches, but only the betrayed truly learn.